For the session of the 18th of June 2021, Darkpulse closed up 19.14%, bringing it back to its 52-week high, if not its all-time high. During that session, we saw that 168.9 million shares crossed the tape, which is not as much, or rather close to 3 times less what it was in the previous session. In that session we saw a retracement, but in this session in this last session, that of the 18th, we saw an extension. So we have to point out that we have a position in Darkpulse. It has a market cap of $324.1 million, 4.698 billion shares are outstanding. Moving forward, we can see also that some of the oscillators are trying to improve or trying to return to their previous levels. MACD is definitely above 0 and extending. The momentum based on the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator seems to be waning. There isn't really any official news concerning Darkpulse. And then moving on, we can see that MACD is above the signal line, significantly above it and extending as well. And the analysis is that it is in a strong bullish trend. Okay, its 200-day moving average is upward sloping, and the MACD histogram is above 0 and rising. It's also outperforming the S&P 500. It's in a strong bullish trend. Definitely all the moving averages and indeed the volume weighted average price, which is not represented in this chart, are definitely looking up. So momentum definitely, I suppose, maybe retracing, maybe, yes, is it's waning. Yes, this means that investors are less aggressive in the recent purchases. Indeed, they are less aggressive. Even though it ran up that 19% extension, it wasn't as much as what we saw previously. The volume for that session was heavier than usual, trading 168.897 million versus an average of 149.759 million shares per day during the last 12 months. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish, the slope of the indicator is positive, and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. So I think what it still indicates is that even though based on the momentum, the interest is not longer there, but the volume still indicates that buyers all in all, if you sum it all up, that buyers are still very much interested. But it had a significant amount of extension some time ago, not very long ago, a few days ago. So that has altered the momentum. The momentum has not been sustained, after over the last 2 trading session status of the 18th and the 17th. So that has reflected on the momentum. So, but even at that, the opportunity may have been when it retraced from that 0.69 as at the, let's find out that date if you don't mind, as at that date was the 15th. It's run up this extension up to the extension up to $0.69 on the 15th, and retraced again on the 16th. I believe that is the case. Retraced on the probably 15th or thereabout, one of those dates. It ran up that extension on the 15th, that huge one, and retraced on the 16th, and then continued to also rise again on the 17th and 18th. So the opportunity when it pulled back, I believe that must have been a correction, was on the 15th, and some people took advantage of that, and in subsequent sessions, over 2 sessions, the stock has favored them. But even at that was still a huge risk. That was still a huge risk, because the stock, even though it had pulled back, it was still traded at a premium to all of its short and intermediate trend lines and moving averages, especially the short ones, short-term moving averages. It was trading at a premium to them. So, but all in all, it has paid off for them. Is there any chance that this extension will continue? Well, all in all I can say is that the fact that this volume, you can see that here, we can see that here, we can see that the volume for the 16th was when we saw that huge volume, huge size, 382.869 million shares. As a matter of fact, that was when it retraced. So it seems, going by this volume, that these guys are the folks, majority of them are the folks who were taking their money off the table. Okay, you can see that, sorry, that's a short volume. So look at the volume here, the actual volume, so 1.13 billion shares. So these are the folks, probably that majority of them were taking the money off the table. You can see, well, I wouldn't say the majority, well, it may still be, even though the short, out of that, the 33.62 were shorts. So that is not the whole picture, because the people who are selling shorts are not exactly people who are taking profits. So amongst other things, amongst that volume, you may also find people who were also taking profits, you know. So we now saw subsequently a reduced volume, 3 times less, I believe, 3 times a third of that or thereabouts, slightly more than that on the 17th. And then we now saw something less again on the 18th. So there's a very good chance that we've seen this reduced volume. The volume there was seen 168. So there's a good chance that we saw this extension on a reduced volume. There's a good chance that, you know, it may be, even if it doesn't extend, it may still remain there. We may not see a retracement, because what it's just simply indicates roughly is that people who got into the stock are the people who are very much there to stay a lot longer, you know. So this is not an accurate science about what it is, but it's just a rough estimate. You know, if it didn't extend by a huge amount, you know, there's a good chance that they're, you know, going to remain there. There's a good chance the stock may consolidate and all that stuff. Yet at the same time, it can equally pull back, and even pull back all the way lower than we have seen it in the recent days. So all in all, the stock is, I think, fundamentally, we haven't done any due diligence, you know. So if you want to stick with the stock, just be careful, you know, know what you're doing. It's the attraction there, amongst other things, is the fact that it is a super penny stock, you know, not trading up to 10 cents. So that's the attraction, you know. And it obviously also has the skepticism towards the short selling, the short volumes and all that stuff. So all of those things are definitely bullish indicators, you know. So the signals are very much, you know, very much bullish, very much positive for the stock in the short term so far, you know. And I think it has remained like that well, since this month, June 2021. So let's see how it goes. Fingers crossed. Just be careful if you want to get involved. Just bear in mind that it's currently very, very hot right now, so you have to prepare yourself to see unfavorable patterns thereafter. So just be careful, know what you're doing. I will definitely recommend that you know, you just wait to see if it's going to pull back or correct or consolidate, you know. But by all means, it may still continue to extend further, you know. So yeah, that's what's going on. And the other thing to point out here is that these extensions and retracements we're seeing with Darkpulse isn't associated with any sort of news as such. So there's a good chance it is probably driven because of short interests, and you know, the push from the folks on various social media platforms and all that stuff. So you know, you may call it a short squeeze, and indeed there's a good chance it is, you know, because we have what we're looking at right now is this sharp retracement we are looking at here. Just tells you that it's as a result of I mean, the people, I mean, this sharp retracement we're looking at here, just simply tells you that there wasn't enough confidence as such to remain in the stock. So yeah, these are all the things you have to bear in mind and moving forward and see how it goes. So just be really careful, be really careful. Don't put all your money in Darkpulse at the moment. Just put sums that you can afford to lose, sums you can afford to ignore for several weeks or something like that. So, but all in all, like I was saying, the signals are very much bullish, and it may be of great interest to a lot of market participants. So let's see how it goes in the subsequent sessions, and we'll do our best to continue to update you. So thank you very much for watching this video.